Hi everyone, James here. So just going to do a quick video on how to add menu items into Vault. And in order to do that, I'm going to use DataStandards. Firstly, I'm a bit sorry about the audio quality. I know it's a bit iffy. I don't have my USB headphones, so unfortunately, I just have to use the microphone on my laptop. But hopefully, it gets the point across. So the first thing I'm going to do is, obviously I'm going to install DataStandards, and once I've done that, you'll notice that a file or a folder will be installed in this directory called DataStandards, or if you're using a different version, it'll obviously have a different version there. Inside of the DataStandards folder, you'll see a folder called Vault. You may also see a folder called CAD, depending on what you've installed, but the Vault one is the one we're going to focus on at the moment. Now, in order to add menu items, we have to modify this mymenu.mnu file. That's where all the magic happens as far as buttons for DataStandards happens. So let's go ahead and fire up Vault. You'll notice that at the moment I don't have any menu items, well, on my standard or any of the other toolbars. But when I do install my DataStandards, I do get some stuff set up by default, such as new standard file and edit standard file and those sort of things, and they give us the default data standards. If you don't want those, I can show you how to remove those as well. It's all the same sort of method. Today's video, we're going to focus on adding buttons to the menus. You have to decide what menu you want to add it to. So this is the standard toolbar. You've also got behaviors toolbar and all that sort of stuff as well, so you can just choose which menu you want to add it to. So first thing we need to do is add a new button, so let's go ahead and do that. So let's open up that mymenu.mnu, which I've already got open here. You can see actually I've collapsed all of these different functions, so when you open it, it might look a bit different to this, but it's the same one. This is the default one. You'll notice that at the very start we've got items. So these are the actual menu items. So this is basically saying I want a new button for a new task, I want a new button for a new file, and so on and so forth. Then you've got site down the bottom, which is basically where do you want that button located. So in our case, we want to make a new button. So I'm just going to make room at the top. Make sure you don't put an item down the bottom. I think you have to have it in order, but I'm not 100% certain, but just to be certain, I'll keep it at the top. I'm going to add a new menu item here, and it's just going to be called a thing. I don't care what it's called, it's just something really simple. Right, so I've just pasted in that thing. So it's just, it doesn't really matter what you call it, as long as this is unique and this is unique. This is the description. Obviously that's nice and simple, easy to understand. This is the hint, again pretty self-explanatory. And this is the actual button name, so it's just going to be called thing. This down here is what is going to execute once you click the button. So in this case, it's going to run a PowerShell script called thing.ps1. And this part here is associating it with a type of object inside of Vault. So in my case, when you click on a file, the button should be highlighted or available. And if you click on a folder or an item, it won't be highlighted, so it'll be grayed out. So this is just saying I want to associate this with a file or a folder or an item or whatever it is. So let's go ahead and save that. Now, the important thing is we've created a new button. However, Vault doesn't have any idea what to assign that button to, whether it's a right-click menu or whether it's a standard toolbar or whether it's the behaviors toolbar, whatever it is. So what we need to do is we need to assign this to a certain area of our Vault. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy that. Now down the bottom here we actually have commented out the standard toolbar site. So we can actually just uncomment that standard toolbar site, and now you've got a new site there called standard toolbar. You can make a new one for behaviors toolbar as well if you like. And down the bottom here is what is going to be on that toolbar. So I'm just going to go ahead and add the new thing to that toolbar. So now when we save, we go and fire up Vault. When we go to log in, you'll actually see that thing is already there. And you'll see it's grayed out, which is correct because we haven't selected on a file. So let's go ahead and select on a file. and you can see it's highlighted. And here's a hint. That's the hint. Obviously, the description is if you want to put more information in there, but you can actually see as well that when I click on it, nothing happens, which is expected. And the reason is because we don't actually have anything in our menus folder called thing.ps1. Remember at the top here we were supposed to say run this file. So I'm going to go ahead and create a file called thing.ps1. And now I'm just going to go ahead and open that one up. Actually, let me just edit that one. Okay, so you can see it's actually empty, which is correct. There's nothing in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a quick little command in there just to show the version of DataStandards that I'm currently running, just so that you know it's actually working. So I've gone ahead and saved that. So now we have thing.ps1 in our menu folder. Again, just copy that or pause the video or whatever you want to do to see where that is. We have the thing button on the standard toolbar. The grouping label doesn't make any difference right now, but it will in a moment. So now, in here, when we click this, we get our dialog box pop up because that thing.ps1 file is now there. To take that a little bit further, let's go and add a new menu item again. So let's add a second one and go ahead and add that there. This is just something different. You can see that this is different. This is different. It's going to run the same PowerShell script, but that doesn't matter. And we're going to go ahead and assign this to the same area of the standard toolbar. So, like that. You can see the syntax I'm using, so make sure you use the same syntax. Right, now let's go ahead and fire up Vault again. You can now see, I don't even need to go into it to be honest, you can now see the two of them are there, which is great. You can keep adding buttons to your heart's content. However, what we want to do is we want to group them together, so we want to make them a pull down. So I'm just going to change this to true. And in there, now we fire up Vault. And you can see, actually, we'll need to log in and reset our menu. This happens sometimes when you change the configuration of the menu, you just need to reset them. In our case, I've only changed the toolbar, so I'll just reset that one. And you can now see my menu. And when I select on a file, I've now got my two objects in there, both of which will run that thing.ps1. Beautiful. So the last thing to talk about is that name of that menu drop down. Again, pretty straightforward. Just change this name here to James Buttons, or whatever you want to call it. Fire up Vault one last time. You can actually see it already, so hopefully that makes sense. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think.